Hi, I'm Wayne.
And I'm Will.
This is Bassador Woodworking. Today we made lighting cookies.
Look at them.
This is my friend Will. He's a filmmaker. Can you explain what the hell a lighting cookie is?
Sure thing. So, in simple terms, a lighting cookie is a way to add a little bit more contrast and a little bit more dynamic energy to your lighting setup. So a lot of times when you're looking at like a noir film where the detective is by his desk and you can see the window blinds up against his face, that's usually a lighting cookie, like the one right in front of us. You can also use lighting cookies to add a lot more texture to background lighting, or you can just add more texture to your subject's face. They're great for key lighting, they're great for background lighting, they're great for effects lighting. It's a wonderful all-purpose lighting tool, and they're very expensive.
So a kit online with just the lighting blinds is around $125, which is atrocious. So we built these 3 different patterns for just under $25 worth of materials.
And we're going to show you how to do it. Nice.
All right.
To begin, we cross-cut a 24-inch wide piece of half-inch plywood into 3 sections, one at 36 inches and 2 at 30 inches. The 36-inch piece will be our window blind cookie. This is just cheap half-inch sheathing I typically use for shop projects, and it will work perfectly for this purpose. To cut the horizontal lines needed for the blind cookie, we use the router table with a half-inch end mill. We set up a temporary fence using some clamps and a scrap piece of 3/4 inch plywood. After each cut, we moved the fence 2 inches closer to the router. This gave us roughly an inch between the horizontal lines. We repeated this process 14 times, and when the bit began to heat up, we adjusted the height of the bit to expose a fresh cutting surface to the plywood. We then sanded the faces to 220 grit and then rounded the corners on the homemade disc sander. All edges were then hit with the palm router and an 1/8 inch roundover bit before being coated with 2 coats of satin polyacrylic. Next, we tackled the circle pattern. We began by cutting a few 6-inch holes with this massive hole saw. It became unwieldy quickly and we moved the whole project to the floor. We then cut a bunch of 4-inch holes, doing our best to evenly distribute them across the board. It was then to a 2 1/4 inch hole saw for some more holes, then a 1 1/2 inch saw, and finally a 7/8 inch Deming bit. All the while being careful to evenly space the holes across the entire piece. We wanted a random pattern of holes across the board, but we wanted to make sure that there were not any spots overly clustered with the same size hole. This cookie got the same finishing treatment as the blinds. Lastly, Will laid out a bunch of triangles on this last cookie, and I drilled holes in each corner of each triangle and used a jigsaw to cut out the shape. This is the most I've ever used this jigsaw, and it's fine. I bought it years ago to finish up one project, and it has sat on a shelf since then. It was cheap and it does the job, but I'll definitely be looking at replacing this jigsaw in the near future. It did do the job though, so here are some hero shots. Like its predecessors, this cookie was sanded to 220 grit and then coated in a couple of coats of satin polyacrylic. All that was left was to attach the mounting blocks. I simply drilled a hole for the 1/4-inch screw mounts and then attached them with a couple of number 8 wood screws.
Will, as a filmmaker and a video producer, how are you going to be utilizing these lighting cookies?
So something that I do a lot of the time is I'll do either a weekly or bi-weekly live concert stream out of my basement called the Xander Zone Sessions. We try to get many different dynamic looks, either with color, with framing, but at the same time, we're getting so many bands that want to come to us now, it's getting more difficult to differentiate the sets and make every set feel unique. So I'm hoping that these cookie blinds are going to give us more contrast with our lighting, give us more looks, and give us more definition. So I would say, like, especially after today, only a few hours of work and $20 of material, it is pretty devastating how expensive cookie blinds are. Whether you're going to Amazon, B&H, Adorama, any video marketplace, these are marked up to incredible prices, and it's heartbreaking because so many people could use such a simple tool like this to create a much more polished look to either their short films, their music videos, their interviews, anything. Like the applications for cookie blinds like this are endless, especially for someone who works in video full time. This could be a much more publicly available tool if people were encouraged to build this or knew how easy it was to build this. So I'm hoping to use these a lot. I'm hoping to ask you to make a couple more with crazier patterns, and I know a lot of my other filmmaker friends are probably gonna send you a couple DMs in the near future.
Yay! So thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to keep up to date with new projects as they are released. And until next time, thank you.
Thank you. And if you want to see these cookie blinds in action, head on over to my YouTube channel, go to the Real 58 Facebook page, and check out the Xander Zone Sessions.
There'll be links to them down in the description below.